Okay, hello and welcome to the One Academy of Golf. Today we're just going to introduce you to the golf course and what you need to do when you first arrive at a golf course. So obviously if you have your own clubs, first thing you need to do is get them out the boot of your car and head into the pro shop and register for your game of golf. So we'll just get that started and we'll be on our way. So upon arrival, register in at the pro shop. If you haven't got your own golf clubs, they normally have a wide range of hire equipment and stuff like that which you can borrow. So what you're doing when you come in here, just paying for your green fees. If you're just going to the driving range, you're just going to hire a bucket of balls, maybe a golf club. So pay your fees and then you're ready to head out onto the golf course. So once you've registered, you'll be instructed to head to either the first or the 10th tee of the golf course to commence your round of golf. So today here we're going to commence at the 10th tee. So normally you place your clubs and equipment somewhere where they're nice and safe and you're not going to hit them during the course of the round. And depending on the hole that you're playing, you're going to select a club from your bag and determine what sort of club you're going to use to play the hole. So once you've determined which club you're going to play off the hole, you then may have a choice of which colour of tee to tee off from. Now traditionally there's going to be at least 2 up to maybe 3 or 4 different colours on a golf course, varying for the degree of tournament that we're playing. So in a big championship you might be teeing off a black tee or a championship tee. Then in a normal members comp, gentlemen will be teeing off what's known as the blue tee. In a daily, weekly comp there'll be the white tees, and then for the ladies there's generally only the red tees. Okay. This morning we're teeing off the blue tees. Now when you tee up the ball, and just as a little note, when you first tee off or start a hole, you're allowed to use the tee. That's normally the only time that you are allowed to use a tee. Okay? After you've hit your shot off the teeing ground, you will play the ball exactly where it lies on the fairway. So we're going to tee this one up. Now, when you tee the ball up, the thing to note is to make sure that your ball is just behind the markers. So we're not allowed to have that ball anywhere in front of those markers. So if we imagine a straight line across those marks, our ball must be behind that. And you're allowed up to a couple of club lengths behind, so I can tee the ball back a little bit. Now also when you're on the teeing ground, look for a nice level spot from which to play. Sometimes they're not always the most level. In preparing to hit, you must make sure that there's no one out there in front of you. So as you might be able to see, there's a couple of people playing and I know that I can reach them. So obviously I'm going to wait until the coast is clear and they're well out of my range. But what I'm aiming to do here now is I'm aiming to hit the ball up what is known as the fairway, which is the nice green part that you can see in the distance. So prior to playing my shot, I'm going to look up the fairway. I'm going to have a look and see, because most golf holes don't run dead straight, unfortunately. They'll normally turn to the left or turn to the right, and in golf terms we normally call that a dog leg. So this hole here, you may be able to see, goes out, but then it dog legs to the left, so it turns to the left. So prior to playing my shot, I've got to try and work out where's the best place to hit the ball. And in the case of a dog leg to the left, it's generally going to mean out to the right of the hole. Now you can also see to the sides of the fairways, they have what is known as light rough. We'll give you a close-up of that in a moment. But also you've got the tree line, which is obviously the rough. And you generally try and weigh up what's the best area to finish. Okay, so if you can see an awful lot of trees and rough on one side of the fairway, you may actually want to try and aim and play the ball to the other side of the fairway. Okay. Okay, so I'm just looking to hit this up the right-hand side of the fairway. I've picked a little mark out in front of me that I'm going to hit over. That'll do. And we're ready to play the next hole. Also be sure, a lot of the golf courses will supply sand for you to replace your divots in. So if you're in a motorised cart, they'll have a plastic container like this one. Or if you're walking, you'll have a little bucket that the course supplies. Just fill that up with some sand, attach it to your buggy as you go, and then just put a light sprinkling of that in your divots if you make one in the fairway. Now before we play the shot, we just want to cover a couple of other things for you to know. So we're currently sitting on the fairway, but as you can see just on the edge here we have a different cut of grass, and this cut is known as the fringe, and we go here into what's known as the light rough, and you can probably see how my feet are sinking into the grass because it's relatively long. And then just behind me is the tree-lined area, which is obviously the full rough. Now also you might just be able to see behind me here a white topped stake in the ground. And this is a distance marker. Most golf courses that you play on will have distance markers, generally maybe 200, 150 or 100 either meters or yards from the green. And in this case, this is the 150 meter marker. When I play my shot, I'm going to try and hit this ball to the right side of the flag. I don't want to hit it to the left side of the flag, risking being towards that bunker. So again, my alignment and my thought process is to get this ball started a little bit to the right of the flag. So what we have here is a scenario where my playing partner's ball is finished just off the edge of the green here. My ball's up there on the green. Now, because my playing partner is not on the actual putting surface, okay, generally they're going to be playing some form of chip or pitch shot onto the green. Now in that instance, generally what will happen is my playing partner is going to play before anyone putts on the green. And when they play, they have an option to chip with the flag stick left in the hole, or they may ask me or one of the other playing partners to tend the flag. So if they ask me to tend the flag, I would come up and I would stand next to the flag and I would hold the flag. And at the moment they hit the ball, I would remove the flag stick so that there's no chance of their ball hitting the flag stick. Excellent. Once on the green, what we do then is whoever is furthest away from the hole will actually putt first. All right, and we'll show you that now. Okay, so Matt's hit a very nice chip in here. It's actually my turn to hit, so because Matt's ball's close but not close enough to finish off, Matt's just going to mark the ball by putting a small little coin behind there. Now also, because I'm now putting, the flag stick has to be removed, so generally in having a look at my line or whatever, I might come up and take the flag out myself, or you know, in the case if Matt's very close, Matt may actually come and do that for me, and that's good etiquette. And normally we'll put that flag stick down, we don't want to be walking around with it, and that then allows us all to putt without the flag being in the way. Now, we've talked about in some of the lessons in the future, we've talked about what we do in making the putt, so we'll get into that in one of the future lessons. So because I'm furthest from the hole, I'm going to have my putt, and on the putting green, whoever is furthest away from the hole putts first. So I'll have my putt and then we'll see what happens from there. Now, I've finished very close to the hole. My partner's Matt's ball is a little bit further away, but because I've already putted, I have the option to finish the hole or to mark my ball. In this case, I'm so close, I will elect to finish off. So I tap my ball in, and it now becomes my partner's turn to hit the putt. So order of play, we've just finished the last hole, and we're about to tee off on our next hole. Now, who tees off first is dependent on the score from the previous holes. So if in the instance one of my playing partners had a 3 and I had a 4, then the person who had the 3 would tee off first. So the person with the lowest score is the person who has what we call the honour, or the right to tee off first on a hole. So that process of going back in holes continues until the honour has been decided. Now once you've hit your tee shot, we're going to show you now who has the honour or who has the right to hit first down on the fairway. Well, we're having a lot of fun here today, and my playing partner Matt has actually hit a slightly longer drive than me. So we're down on the fairway, so even though I teed off first on the previous hole, or on this hole, sorry, Matt's hit a longer drive, so it's now my turn to hit again. So my ball is further away from the hole, so it's my turn to go first. Now I might just say about this, sometimes folks, if the speed of play is a little bit slow, sometimes from the tee we may elect for the shorter person, or the person who hits the ball the shortest distance. It's okay to allow them to go first at times. So long as you're not doing it in order for someone to gain a benefit, you can just mix that honour up a little bit, okay? But I'm here, my partner Matt's ball is well out in front of me there, so it's now my turn to play, and we'll have a shot into the green from here. On the bunker here, didn't hit it so good, but you can see he's made quite a mess of the bunker here. Now, good etiquette tells us that we need to rake that bunker out, and most golf courses will supply a rake. And they normally have a smooth side and a rough side. So just to show you what you'd normally do is, because of all the dents that are left in the green here, we'd normally really just rough it up a little bit with the rough side and kind of get a semi-level area going. Okay. Now in a moment, looks as though my partner has to play another shot, but that's okay, you can re-rake that when he's done. Now I've got sort of a nice sort of covering on that. I'm just going to really use the smooth side to just smooth that out, so that when the next person who comes into the bunker, their ball's going to come in, it's probably going to roll in and it's going to sit quite nicely. So the next person will have a fair shot. So always remember to do that. Now, rake the bunker as you walk out of the bunker. So rake your footprints as you're coming back out. You know, you just drag that rake nice and lightly behind you. And unless you're given other instructions by the course that you're on, what I would always do is I lean in, but the rake bunker in, just so it's well into the flat part, the centre of the bunker. But as I say, sometimes there may be certain points where they ask you to leave the rake, in which case do that as well. So if you've come to the golf course just to practice your golf skills, at the pro shop you'll pick up your hire bucket of balls, and if you haven't got your own golf clubs, they'll generally lend you or hire you a golf club in which to use. And you just wander out. Normally there'll be signage towards their practice fairway and or practice greens. You can see here we've arrived at one of the practice chipping greens. We have a little chipping area here. Normally on this sort of area you're just playing very small shots. You're not getting involved with big swings here. Normally there'll be a few other people around the green, so you must make sure that everyone is nice and safe. You're not hitting if someone's in your way. Also just over here to my right you can see there's a practice bunker. Again, with your higher balls, normally around the practice greens and the practice bunkers, you play your shots, you chip them off, you collect your balls, and then when you're ready you head on out to the driving range to hit some. So we've arrived here at the driving range. Most driving ranges you'll find will mark out the hitting area with either a rope, as you can see here we have 2 ropes, or they'll put out some sort of markers for which you should hit from between. So for the safety of everyone on the driving range, you wouldn't ever be hitting balls from behind or from in front of the rope, okay, because this would endanger either yourself or the other people on the range. So when you arrive, you'll have your bucket of balls. Here you're allowed to put the balls down, you hit them. You know, you might pick out different targets on the range, or you might be doing practice drills. Once you've hit the balls, you will end up with what we know, or what we call divots. So we'll zoom in a second and show you some of that. But from those divots, it's always a good idea, if they provide the sand for you, to fill those divots in. That's a good practice to get used to, and what we call good etiquette in golf. Okay, so you can see here there's a couple of little divots here. So I've picked some sand up. I'm just going to cover those couple of divots that we've made. All right, bit of a smooth in, and that's a perfect job, and that's going to help the course recover quickly. So remember, whether you're on the practice fairway or whether you're on the golf course, if you look after the course, you're always going to be welcome to come and play golf.